Earlier today, I put out a 8 or 9 minute video talking about Game 7, talking about my dogs and what happened last year, how they both passed and everything. And in the first few hours of the comments, I had to block five Leaf fans, including one person who made a rather uncomfortable comment about my dog. And then what happened?
The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1, drop!
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Oh, here we go. Game 7. Game 7. Now, by the time you're watching, you already know what's happened. I don't know what's happened, and that's how these videos go, right? Years and years ago, this is my 9th season to this channel, and I think it was about year 2. I decided, you know what? Year 2 or year 3, somewhere in there, I decided, why don't we change the format up a little bit, and let's react after each individual period. And so many things have happened in those interactions and reactions over the years. I'll bitch and complain about a guy, and then the next period, he'll get a goal. I'll praise a guy, and then the next period, not so good. I will say something crazy like, what if Ekblad got 2 goals and an assist, and then he'll get 2 goals and an assist. And every once in a while, something won't happen, obviously, or I'll get close like I did last night with the potential for a penalty shot. And over the years, most people understand what's actually really going on, and every once in a while, somebody will come in and accuse me of faking it. Accuse me of faking it. And most of the time, previous to when we were streaming, you wouldn't be able to know, right? Nowadays, you can hear Kyle in there actually streaming while I'm in here doing the reactions. So what's the point? Seen a lot. This wall has seen a lot. And before that, it was my couch. I watched Panthers lose Game 4 to the Avalanche on the same couch that I watched them lose to the Devils 15 years later, something like that. We threw away the couch after that. That was Kyle's first Game 7 against the Devils when we came back from being down 2-0 at the end of the second period, only to lose in double overtime by a man that's still playing here, not here, but Adam Henrique. So we've seen a lot. Have we seen it all? Well, we've seen a President's Trophy curse. We've seen a Stanley Cup loss. And we've seen some Game 7s. And we saw the Game 7 against Boston a few years ago. And we were playing with all of the house money. There was no expectations. We barely made the playoffs. And we were basically like, that's nice. Maurice's first year, halfway decent. Team's starting to look a little bit better. But here comes the best regular season team of all time in the Bruins. Whatever. And whoa. Next thing you know, we were getting walloped by Vegas in the finals because we had just run out of spare body parts. Then last year, champs. That's all I can say about last year's champs. You either get reversed swept or you don't. And Panthers have struggled in times when they feel like things are a little bit too easy. This team must have its back up against the wall in order for it to perform at the pace that they need. And that goes all the way back to when Maurice got here. And the forwards needing to learn what it takes to win in this system. And what we've seen in this series and a lot through this regular season is the Panther forwards will bust their ass when they need to. But boy, if they don't feel like they really need to, you start to see what we saw in Game 6. There's not a lot of offensive chances because the forecheck is just not quite all that. It's just not all that. And you see breakaways and 2-on-1s the other way because we get caught in deep because the forwards aren't quite skating as fast as they should be. And when they realize that, maybe I should start skating faster because I've started too late, then they speed into the zone. But by the time they get into the zone, they're going a million miles an hour that way, and the puck's already moving back the other way, and it's a bad look. It's all about work ethic and timing. You have to leave to go do the forecheck at the right time. If you speed into the zone too late, you're speeding, the puck's already going the other way. So, that's what we saw in Game 6. Why did we see that in Game 6? Well, because Panthers thought they were just going to go into their home arena and Toronto was just going to lay down and say, oh, Daddy, go ahead. Take the Eastern Conference Championship final appearance. Go ahead. We're done. We're toast. That's what Florida thought, just like they thought Edmonton was going to quit being down 3-0. But this is the NHL, it's professional sports, and hockey teams, generally speaking, don't quit. So, all that said, what do I expect to see tonight? Toronto will score first. I can't imagine a scenario that would be, in fact, I almost want them to score first so that maybe at that point the Panthers really get worried that their run might be over. Because over the course of this season, when we have scored first, we have almost invariably and inevitably allowed a quick goal to tie it up at some point. So Toronto scores first, and then the Panthers slowly just chip away, and we get the dub, and we'll see Carolina on Tuesday. Now, that's what I think is going to happen. That's what I hope is going to happen. Obviously, you Leaf fans are watching it right now, and if that did not happen, you've got your comments ready, and that's fine. I've got the block button ready. Some of you are just interesting people. That's what I'll say. We've got a lot of good Leaf fans that have been fans of this channel for a number of years, including many members, but then when we play you all in the playoffs, a small portion of the fan base likes to come to the channel and show their ass. That's fine. I ain't wiping it for you. That said, Nyes is in. I believe Rodriguez is in. We know the goalies. There should be no complaints there. The wall has been a wall, as they say. Lineup for the Panthers doesn't matter. Are the forwards working or are they not? If they're working, we're going to win. And if they're not, we're not. It's just that simple. One last thing. Bubba. Now, Bubba ain't getting any, you're not getting any younger, Bubba. Right? You only get so many chances of this. You only get so many chances. You certainly only get so many chances to repeat as Stanley Cup champs. Last game, I was cool, calm, relaxed. Everything's cool. I kind of had that attitude, and apparently so did the team. Tonight, the attitude I have is, not yet. Not yet. This ain't ended. This ain't over just yet. I'm not making predictions. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but that's how I feel. No, not tonight. Not tonight. Not like this. Let's do it. All right, so no score after one. A lot went down in that period. Florida dominated until the first commercial break, had a lead 7-0 in shots. The Leafs were just not ready, but they held serve. Then Leafs dominated for about the next 5 or 7 minutes, maybe even closer to 10. But can't praise the goaltender in the middle of the game. We got to stop letting the breakaways. I mean, one of the breakaways, Forsling's got the puck in the offensive zone, loses the puck behind the net. What are you doing behind the net with the puck? And then, of course, And now, one thing I've noticed, obviously, Toronto was trying to block the shots again. They are blocking the shots again. It looks like what we're trying to do is shoot high, which we've missed the net a little bit, but it looks like we're trying to shoot high and get like deflections that way and stop them from blocking the shot like with their legs. Some of the pucks are getting through. We've had some chances. They've had some chances. There's no score. There's no score. Nothing has happened. The fact that we look good and they look good doesn't matter because new period, new sheet of ice, new strategies. So now we got 2 periods left, I hope, I assume. Let's go. So, oh boy. It's 3-0 Florida after 2. That's the good news. The bad news is that Anton Lundell is out. Don't know what happened because they're not telling us anything. There's no communication from the broadcast at all. I noticed it because Nosek has taken his shifts and he's not on the bench when they've showed his shot. So hopefully Lundell is okay. Hopefully he comes back next period and plays a role in shutting this whole thing down. The game is not over. Now, we almost made it 4-0. They ruled it. Jones kicked it in. It wasn't really worth the challenge. It would have been a 50-50 call anyway. There was no reason to give Toronto a possible power play at that point and give them any life. So we hold on the rest of the period. It's 3-0. We're out shooting them tremendously. I don't even know if they have 10 shots on goal at this point. We're laying it all out there. It is not over. Nothing has happened. We have a nice lead. We got to play 20 perfect minutes. Not solid. Not let them get one, almost two. No. Solid. Just hold this. Finish this like 5-0 with an empty net or something like that. Get 15 back on the ice. And then if that happens, we could talk about what happens next. I am going to enjoy this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8. That is 8. We are halfway there again. Wow. Wow is all I can say. I am not going to sit here and pretend like I saw that coming. Now, what I will say for all of those of you who are good Leaf fans who have come to the channel for years and everybody that's shown respect, I don't care what the score said. I know it was 6-1, but trust me when I tell you I've watched this team play like this for 3 years, and you gave us all we could handle. It was any second in the game when it was still 0-0, if Toronto could have just got one past Bobrovsky, I could be sitting here singing a completely different tune. That said, Florida Panther fans, here we go. 3 straight trips through the Eastern Conference Finals. What do we see on the ice tonight? Everybody gets a point. Everybody. I mean, it was just incredible. All over again. Barkov had 2. I'm going to try to remember. Barkov, Luostarinen, Jones, and Marchand all had 2 points, and that was before Marchand got the empty net goal. Reinhart got himself a goal. Reinhart got a goal that was so spectacular, TNT didn't even bother to show it live. They were so busy. It's 4-1. It's 4-1, and the refs missed what might have kind of been a ticky-tacky interference call. And TNT was so busy showing the replay about how they might have missed an interference call, they missed a freaking goal. And so they like awkwardly came back and showed it clearly as a replay, because by the time Reinhardt was like, yeah, scoring, and then they're back to the face-off. They literally missed the goal. Unbelievably. You got one job. So, Lundell came back. He had blocked the shot. He came back. He looked fine. Brad Marchand Bill Zito has made some good pickups. Over the years for the playoffs, Tarasenko helped out last year, right? He's made some good pickups. But getting Brad Marchand with like 1 minute left on the trade deadline this year, I remember I was just wrapping up something in here, and I came back out there, and Kyle said it was reported that Brad Marchand to the Panthers. And I said, why, who, and how, and where? And basically what I meant was, who do we have to give up to get him? Because it's Brad Marchand. They ain't going to just give him to us for free. Where are we going to put him? Because I was like, does that mean Kachuk's not coming back? And turns out they gave him to us for free, and you put him with Lundell and Luostarinen, and unstoppable. Just absurd. That line was already good with Lundell and Luostarinen, but now, good luck. Good luck, because now you got to pick your poison. We can put our top line out there, Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, and just shut you down defensively. We'll shut your top line down. And then, or we'll put Lundell out. It's just beautiful. Seth Jones played the game of his career tonight. He gets a goal. I guess he had another assist. He was making plays all over the place. Looked fantastic out there. We had the one bad change. That's the one goal. Domi got Bob 5-hole. You did good, Bubba. We'll give him. It's okay. You did good. All right. That was a little queasy. It was 3-0. All of a sudden it's 3-1. And Domi's like telling the crowd to get going. And they start getting moving. And then not to be. Just not to be. It's just not going to happen. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So what does this mean for Toronto? Like I said in the pregame, I still feel the same way. I would let Marner walk. I would see if you could get Tavares on a cheaper deal and see if you can get a little bit better. Eventually, the Panthers aren't going to win the conference every year. We haven't won it yet either. You see what I'm saying? At some point, Florida will not be as... If you can keep the core together, Toronto fans, long enough to just wait out Florida, it was pretty damn close this year. So, but that's your team. In terms of my team, like I said in the intro, I'm just going to make this part short. It's not even really a complaint. But I was not sure how this game was going to go. I didn't want to say anything, but earlier in the day, did have to block 5 Leaf fans. I could have more comments there that I need to block as it is, but I had to block 5 really nasty people, with one of them even saying something about my dog. And as soon as I saw that comment, I looked at my picture of Fluffy, and it was like, we ain't losing this game. We ain't losing. We was never going to lose this game after that. All right? So that's all I have to say about that. So, Tuesday, the NHL, because the offices are in Toronto and they wanted to make sure that if Florida did win, that we had the hardest possible road. For some reason, even though they already knew Edmonton and Dallas were in the finals last night, they're starting the Western Conference Finals Wednesday, which makes sense, but they're starting ours on Tuesday, which is just basically, if Toronto would have won, Toronto could have stayed home, and they didn't really need the rest because they're not traveling. But if Florida was to win, they don't even get to go. We don't even get to go home. I can't imagine we're going to go home. Why would we go home? Right? We're in Toronto, just fly to Carolina, I would assume, tonight, and then try to get a nap and a massage tomorrow. So I'll have an Eastern Conference Final preview out tomorrow. I don't want to divvy with too much of that right here. But there you go, Florida. When did it turn? Obviously, the first goal was important, but obviously you get 3 goals in 6 minutes, and I don't know what to make of that if I'm a Toronto fan right now. I know you all are mad and you want to blow up the core and everything like that. Could Stars have made a difference? You lost the last 2 games at home 12-2. 12-2. And all the way back to what I said in kind of this morning's video, this was the Paul Maurice master plan. And, you know, we started resting guys towards the end of the season. We didn't care about home ice. We're like, let them have it. We don't care. We're not fighting for the division. Doesn't matter. We got a game 7 on the road. Doesn't matter. And it didn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We played like ass at home, and then the last 2 games we played in Toronto, we just totally buried the Leafs. It's a beautiful thing. So that's it. That's going to be it, because there's still more work to do. Because I want another one of these signs. I want another one that's got 25 on it, and we're going to have to put it, I don't know where we're like, have to hang it like behind Kermit so you can still see it, but I don't want to cover up Larry Zonka. We'll have to move some stuff around. I want another one of these. So it's great. It's beautiful. Everything is fantastic. But they got to get ready for the next game. We got to get ready for the next game. I will be live tomorrow at noon for your therapy session. For all of you Leaf fans who are kind and human and nice people and good people, come on to the chat. We'll treat you great. And if you say something about my dog, karma, I'm sorry. But one of y'all came to my video and actually said something about my dog. That was stupid. That was really stupid, because if you thought the worst thing that could happen because of that is blocked, there you go. All right? So next time, you know, some of you people need to keep your mouths shut, and maybe your team might win a game. So, all right, that's going to do it. I'll be live tomorrow at noon. Paul and I are trying to get a Puck Blockers episode out. We were thinking about doing it today, but with everything going on with the Panthers, I needed to not record anything today, so maybe we'll have something tomorrow if I can get a hold of them and everything like that. And that's it. We've got one night off, people. Go enjoy it. Everybody. Okay? It's one night. Because it's Tuesday. I mean, at least for the first 4 games, it's all every other night. Now, I don't know if Dallas and Edmonton will be every other night, because they might get a day in there for travel. But for the Eastern Conference, we already know it's every other night. So, oh, by the way, last thing I'll say for you Panther fans. Should the Eastern Conference Finals go to Game 7? If it happens, do not fret. Because the Eastern Conference Finals Game 7, it's on Fluffy's birthday.